good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching this out there on the World Wide Web. This is Jeremy Geelan for SYS-CON TV. We are here at 8th Cloud Expo, Cloud Expo New York. I have Rick German with me, CEO of Stoneware. Welcome aboard, sir.
Thanks, Jeremy. It's good to see you again.
I've lost track of Stoneware. That's a really good thing because when you make me aware of what I've missed, the whole world will be aware. What have I missed, Rick?
Well, you know, in the last couple of months, we've introduced something called the Cloud Ready Client in a partnership with Lenovo and Intel that makes devices aware of the cloud and the cloud aware of the capabilities of the device.
Now that sounds good.
Yep, it's interesting technology. One of the things that we're working on as a product is that users with the new growth in devices, pads, tablets, slates, and smartphones, it's very important for the cloud to understand the capability of the device and then be able to enhance the experience based on the capability of the device. So Stoneware's products now are aware of the device and its capability to deliver a better experience and performance for the end user.
And that really was a bit of a missing link, wasn't it, that you've spotted there?
You know, we think we've found something here in our partnership with Lenovo, and I think the key is that as you watch the market, the device market, you're seeing that users are buying richer devices. They have a real preference towards the device market, and so in terms of serving applications and data out of the cloud, it's when we understand the capabilities of the device, we can decide when do we leverage the device and when do we service it out of the cloud. And so as I move from device to device, today I'm on a tablet, but tomorrow I'm on a PC, we can change the experience and always deliver an optimal experience.
And that really is the reality, isn't it, Rick? Every one of us, if we sit and think about it, has now got Lord knows how many devices. And what about the overall metric? I have heard some pretty, I will say, odd numbers almost recently of just how fast it is moving in terms of device proliferation. Do you have any numbers?
You know, I think we've got some metrics, you know, in terms of the number of devices people are carrying, of course, and the fact that the device market is certainly growing within the tablet, smartphone, and so from our approach, you know, the reality is that delivering a desktop built in browser technologies, and all these devices have a browser. So we're going across the most ubiquitous platform. The browser becomes the dumb terminal, and the only thing missing from the cloud was understanding the capabilities of the device and learning when to leverage those to create a better experience. And
tell us about Stoneware, Rick, if somebody hasn't followed the Stoneware story the same way we have. Give them the elevator version of your success story.
Of our success story. Well, you know, we're a small company from Indianapolis. We started 10 years ago with a focus of delivering services out of the data center through web technologies. And then over the last 4 years, the technology has changed in terms of web and what's embedded within the browser, and we've really been able to go and develop a desktop that runs inside of that browser and deliver services out of the data center into that desktop, and that gives organizations the ability to scale cloud computing to thousands per server instead of just hundreds per server, and it gives us ability to go across a wide variety of devices.
So I know that it's demand driven, but what would be the pain points of someone who hasn't yet discovered Stoneware? What are they going to be complaining about that they're going to see this interview out there on the web and say, oh my God, so these problems that we're having, they have been solved?
Yeah, I think, you know, for us right now, the growing part of our business is in the bring your own device market, where organizations and companies are trying to figure out how do they integrate these growing number of devices and devices that are simply not going to be managed by IT anymore. And so we provide a method for them to deliver services out of the data center to devices that they won't manage or devices they don't have control of. And I think that is right now a key area within the business.
For you, is that going to take care of the next 2-3 years? I know you're very quickly a small company, very agile, but do you sense that that's going to be like a 2-3 year journey for you?
No, you know, I think this trend is much longer than 2 or 3 years. I think you're going to see for the next 5 to 10 years cloud just is really incorporating this transition back into the data center. You could say this is mainframe 2.0.
Yeah, I've heard it said.
And if you want to look at it from our standpoint, the browser becomes the dumb terminal. And so I think the trend of the device market and it's accelerating this drive back into the data center, and I think we're on this route for the next 5 to 10 years.
Right, but it's counterintuitive, isn't it? We've got all that mobility and we're back to the mainframe.
Well, I think it's a little bit different. I think what you're seeing for the first time is that we are seeing personal computing. And what I mean by that is, if I said, Jeremy, 5 years ago, when you had your laptop, what did you do with it? You would say, 90% of the time I use it for work purposes. Right. Now what we're seeing in the market is that I get a device and I use it 50% of the time for personal use. And so now IT is trying to figure out, how do I fit what we do in IT with you using your own personal device? And so I think there's a huge change in the market that we're seeing, where devices for the first time are getting used for the majority of the time for personal use, and we're trying to figure out how work fits into that.
What would I say if I come to your website for the first time ever, which somebody is going to do? Where should we point them to get in touch with exactly what we've just talked about?
I think if you hit the website, obviously contact us for a webinar. We can do an online webinar for 30 minutes, give you an idea of the technology and the benefits from the technology. And if you're interested in a bring your own device type of deployment, you'll find information about that. Or if you're looking for our partnership with Lenovo and the Cloud Ready Client, there's information there.
Personal invitation from Rick German of Stoneware. Head for the website. Give them the URL, Rick.
www.stone-ware.com.
He has to say the dash because I will say hyphen and no one will know what I mean. Thanks so much for joining us here at 8th Cloud Expo, and thank you for following along out there on the World Wide Web.